Hey everyone, Crickcaster here, and welcome back to another NGS video, where today we're going to be talking about the Christmas event that just dropped, and all of the things that you should be taking advantage of within this update. But to start us off, let's look at the update info on the website, where it talks about the limited time event, Christmas 22. So with this, there's the decor changes within the cities, as well as the region mags change to fit this Christmas theme. And also there is the addition of reindeer wrappies now. With those, they don't drop anything special. They just have like the little costume on. But there is the return of wrappy spots. Basically ways you can spawn emperor wrappies or great wrappies on a consistent basis after you kill dread or veteran enemies. They've kind of improved this system though. Now the wrappy spots are directly on top of the dread enemies themselves, and there is a burst symbol with a veteran symbol over top of it so you just know right where to go in the exploration zones. With these wrappy spots, it doesn't seem like there's any special loot versus previous ones, so the main thing is getting Darkfall's triggers or a very rare chance of getting the wrappy suit. Next though is the return of Z-Tray with her limited time tasks where you can get like seasonal points and whatnot, but also the seasonal shop. So within this shop, there's actually a new kind of like setup. So there's star gems per usual and like an accessory and tickets, but this time there's actually beta reactors. And you can get 20 of those, meaning you can get 2 mil, and it's only for like 30,000 seasonal points in total. There's also class cubes that you can get for each of the different classes if you want to get those, but there's also the new Tenebrous Weapons series. So this is an 8-star series, pretty much just like a Fulgent, but instead of being fire, it is instead ice. Because this is an ice weapon, that's just like such a major advantage over the Fulgent series, because in the Stia region itself, ice is pretty much like everywhere, a whole bunch of different enemies, as well as the most important one being in purple triggers, those Gigantix enemies. But now let's actually take a closer look at this Tenebrous Weapons series. So over here on the Arks Visiphone, you can see it's right here, right next to the Fulgent weapons. And as you can see, it has the same exact potential. So 15% potency at level 4 and crit rate plus 15% conditional thing whenever you do your weapon action or sidestep successfully. And then there's the different elements there, but it has the same exact variance. But with this, it comes with different default augments. So there's like separate things in the store itself, but whenever you get it to drop, it comes with the Season Winterfev, which is only good for the Christmas 22, New Year 23, and Winter 23 seasonal events. So those are going to be back to back leading up into January itself. But this gives plus 5% potency, critical hit rate plus 20%, and damage distance plus 25% against seasonal enemies. So that's just going to be huge bonuses whenever you're in the overworld, like in Dryson Plant and Stia, going in that loop, killing those recon gigants, or veterans with the new wrappy spots doing that, or even in combat zones. Unfortunately, this does not apply to instance content like purple triggers because they do not become seasonal enemies. But because this is ice, like I said before, will be really nice for purple triggers, but this also comes by default plus 4% potency against enemies weak to ice with this Ice Exploit 2 augment, which right now you can't get it as a thing to augment onto other weapons, so this just having it by default is pretty huge, because currently most of our capsules are only up to 3% potency, so this just gives an advantage over those. So honestly, because of all these things combined, I would highly recommend using this weapon even after the seasonal event is done. Because when it's compared to the Cacophis weapon series or like the Gunblaze series, it's actually quite close or even better. So in terms of the Cacophis Fixa 3, the Tenebrous needs like a Fixa like Vital 3 or Termina 4 or something like that, and it actually does a better average DPS than this. So that's pretty huge. And then in terms of the Gunblaze though, it doesn't quite reach there without the Season active, but against seasonal enemies, this Tenebrous weapon will be better. That is the gist of this weapon series, so let's actually go back here for the rest of the week. There's a new limited time quest, the Snowfield Workup, where you actually kind of go through this using cannonballs, kind of like Cannonball Strike or Cannonball Rumble, where you kill enemies to hit the different targets, and once you reach the end, you have to kill the Boojin fast enough to be able to get those cannonballs to eventually kill like Wrappies and maybe Emperor Wrappies if they spawn. So just with the quest itself, it doesn't sound too special, but when actually we look at the rewards on the Arks Visiphone website here, it's pretty huge because you can get the Tenebrous series within this, so maybe farm for fixes. You can also get like rugged weapons if you care for those. But the most important thing, I think, is being able to get Mastery 3s and 4s. When I did my first run of this, I got a Mastery 3, so I don't know how quite common it is, but me just doing my first run and getting one, so it seems like this is like a good farm for those. And then there's also the chance of getting Star Gem tickets, 5, 10, 50, 100, which is pretty huge. And then also if you kill Rappies, you get a whole bunch of different exploit capsules, which you can't usually get, and also a chance at that Rappy suit. But this is just like a huge quest because it doesn't take quite too long and you can get these very good rewards. And on top of that, getting a whole bunch of seasonal points. The higher the rank, the better of that. And if you do finish it on rank 5, you get 10 guaranteed special scratch tickets, which might lead to more star gems. So I'll probably be farming this myself because of all these different things. But going back to the website here, there's also a new field race, Arks Records, where you can get more Arks Record badges if you care for those. And it is the Central Alio board and the 2 new field races within STIA itself. Besides that, though, there is a new AC scratch ticket, the Frozen World 22, where you can get the Ice Queen outfit for females and a whole bunch of Santa or Christmas themed wear for both types. There's even a casual wear for type 2 as well. And then within this, there's some new emotes from the video submission contest, the emote Hug 2, as well as Walking on Ice and the Comet Glide. That's it for this page, but there's actually more than that. So in the update details, we already mentioned that the Dread enemies now have a special marker, kind of like a PSE burst thing for Rappy spots. But there's also a change to the Malevolent Vardias within the STIA region, kind of like in the middle and the back arena. So the item drop rates have increased for the following items dropped by the Malevolent Vardias. The Gunblaze series of 8-star rarity weapons, as well as Infernium. I think before this update, Vardias could not drop these weapons or Infernium, so this is more of a bug fix than anything else. I know some people have been taking these words like Recon Gigant, thinking that it's also an update for all of those, but I don't think this is a change for Recon Gigants in general. It is more just for Vardias, which is considered a Recon Gigant in the STIA region. But up next, we actually have something for base game, which is pre-announced urgent quests and concerts within those PSO2 blocks. This is a return of a whole bunch of Christmas stuff, such as the Cuna Eternal Encore Xmas version, as well as other concerts such as Living Universe from Hatsune Miku, so you can get a chance of getting that title if you haven't already, and get that music disc. But there's also urgent quests that are making a return that haven't been on the usual schedule for base game, which is Mother Omnipotent Creator, and I think there's a couple other ones as well. But it's always great to see SEGA going back to base game and actually involving them within the updates so people that haven't experienced it can actually go back and do so. I'll leave a link for this page in the description down below if you want to check out the schedule in your time zone. But up next is actually more campaigns that were mentioned in the previous headline. So the Christmas Boost campaign is still ongoing with the 20% XP earned, as well as 25% rare drop rate. But also there is a new campaign, the Tenebrous Series Enhancement Boost. So with this, if you're trying to upgrade the new Tenebrous series, you get increased great success rate, as well as augmentation success rate. And then you get 50% off costs for enhancements such as potentials and whatever. So just an additional incentive to get into this new weapon series. But up next is a thing on the Twitter page for Phantasy Star, which is a new keyword. So in game, you just need to type in Merry_Christmas, and then you'll get this new stamp, as well as star gems and special scratch tickets, etc. But next week, there is going to be a new headline, 12/27. I'll be covering that in a later video, but look forward to that with a whole bunch of information for January and maybe beyond. But final thing here is a thing that is included within that January update that you kind of get a little hint for, is that we'll be getting a new combat sector for STIA, which is going to involve that last area of the story, kind of underground. I'm not quite sure if it's just going to be combat sector in January or if they're actually going to do a whole second part to STIA itself, but we'll find out in that next headline. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.